the whole thing was trash. I wouldn't say the whole thing was trash. Okay, so 2016 going into 17, I didn't do anything for New Year's because I worked. And on New Year's, like, this guy that I knew texted me Happy New Year's, and we just started talking from then. But like, I never really liked him. Like, he was really weird and annoying, so I thought it was just like a, oh, Happy New Year's, like, friend type thing. And then we started talking more, got closer, then we started dating in April.
Okay.
Things were good in the beginning, obviously. That's when everything's always good. Then we went on... okay, so things were really good in the beginning, and then, like, April, May, June, July. So, like June, he started getting, like, a little rocky, like, a little distant, but I didn't think anything of it. Then we went on family vacation with his family in beginning of July. Then while we were there, we would have, like, family bonfires and family dinners and stuff, and we'd hang out by the bonfire until, like, midnight, 1 o'clock. Well, he would stay out there by himself, like, oh, I'm just going to stay late by the bonfire. And I was like, okay, like, that's weird. I'm not sure why you're going to stay there, but I go to sleep by myself. So it was like that the whole time. Like, he was kind of distant, kind of always on his phone, but I didn't think anything of it. He left early. I stayed there with his family, which I didn't want to stay. I wanted to leave with him, but he was like, no, stay with my family, whatever. So not a big deal. So then probably like 2 weeks after we got back from vacation, we had, like, I don't know, it was somebody in his family's birthday. So we had a birthday party at his house, and he ended up falling asleep early, and I was just on my phone in his room, and his phone went off. So I went to go, like, see who it was, and it was like an unsaved number, and I didn't know whose number it was. So I opened it, and I still didn't know who it was, just by, like, the conversation. So then I was scrolling, I didn't know who it was, but, like, there were some things that you wouldn't say to somebody if you have a girlfriend. So I was like, okay, like, this is kind of weird. So then I asked his sister, said, hey, like, do you know who this is? Like, not sure. So reading through it, and then all of a sudden she was like, it's Kaylee, and I had no idea who Kaylee was. But then when she said her name, I was like, hold on. She followed me on Instagram a few months ago, and I didn't know who she was. So yeah, come to find out, he's been talking to this girl. Well, we've been dating, which is kind of annoying. So then in the morning, I asked him about it, and he was like, oh, so why did you look through my phone? And I was like, okay, but, like, so what are you going to do about it? Like, are you sorry? Like, do you apologize? And he was basically saying that was my fault for looking through his phone. So I was like, okay, whatever. Obviously, I was mad about it. Stayed together, whatever. Ups and downs throughout the rest of it. Then we made it to a year. Then I want to say, like, probably 3 months after a year, we started fighting about everything for no reason. And then we broke up for a little bit, got back together, broke up for a little bit, got back together. Then, like, recently, Thanksgiving, he, on the way home, texted me and was like, oh, I think we're falling apart, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, like, can we talk? And he was like, okay, like, that's weird. Then we ended up talking, and he was basically like, oh, like, I'm just not happy, blah, 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 which I'm not going to say, oh, that's not my fault, like, whatever. So I was like, okay, like, I understand. So then we broke up. Obviously, I was sad about it. Then he was like, oh, I think I made a mistake, and I want you back. And I was like, okay, like, that's great. Like, obviously, I'd love to get back together, but, like, you can't keep doing that. You can't keep saying, hey, like, I'm done, but I want to get back together, like, a week later. Like, that's just not fair for me. So I was like, I need time to think. So he said, fine, you can have time to think. So then, like, 2 days later, I texted him, and he was like, he did answer. So I was like, okay. So then I kept texting him, not answer. So I was like, hey, can we meet to talk? And he was like, talk about what? So basically, it felt like when I said I wanted time to think, he took that time and got over me, which I don't know how you get over somebody that fast, but whatever. So that was like a month ago. So we haven't been together for that time. And he's just out doing his thing, acting like I don't even exist. And I'm over here like, oh, okay, like, that's awesome, great. So I text him, obviously, because, like, how do you just drop somebody that was your life for 2 years? But then he doesn't answer, or if he answers, it's, like, super rude, and I'm like, why do I keep texting him? But it's like, I know why I keep texting him, but it's like, I can't not text him. So then if I text him, he's like, oh, please stop texting me. But then his family's like, oh, like, we love you and we're sorry and blah, blah, blah. So then it makes it, like, 5 times harder, because obviously, like, I'd still like to talk to him. And then if I texted him and was like, hey, like, you left some stuff at my house. Would you like it back? And he was like, what don't you get? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you just don't understand. And I was like, I'm just asking if you want your stuff back. Like, I can keep it if you want. You want me to throw it in the garbage? Like, I'll throw it in the garbage. But I don't know. I just don't understand. Like, he's just, like, he just, like, up and decided that he just doesn't care anymore. So, yeah, that's my story about my 2 years.
Well, right now it just sounds like you're kind of, like, confused with your own thoughts. Like, you're wanting to, like, not be in love with him, but at the same time, you're like, 2 years.
Exactly. It's like 2 whole years. Like, you can't just up and throw that away because we argue or because I moved for school. Like, I feel like there was just always an excuse on why he was like, oh, I don't, like, this isn't a girl for me, like, this isn't who I want to be with. But when I talked to his family was like, I think that your maturity level and his maturity level, like, scared him away. Like, I'm way more mature than he is, and they said that it scared him away. But, like that, it totally makes sense. Like, don't get me wrong, it makes sense. But, like, then it feels like, so what, I'm supposed to act immature in order for, like, things to work? Like, I just don't think that would even work, because then if I'm immature, he's probably going to be like, wow, she's so immature, like, I can't be with her. So it's like lose-lose situation no matter what I do.
Like, it sounds like you, like, your mind is telling you, stay away. But your heart is like, yeah, but you're still in love with him.